and thank you for taking part in this digital drop-in with Google and Parent Zone. My name's Chelsea and we've got our online safety expert Tim in the chat box too. We'd love for you to share your name and maybe where you're watching from this evening, so please do introduce yourselves and say hello in the chat box. Don't be shy. Now, Tim and I are part of a team in charge of delivering Be Internet Legends, a programme designed by Google and Parent Zone to help families become savvier, safer, and more confident online. Over the last few weeks, we've been asking parents what topics they'd like us to cover in these digital drop-ins, and sharing carefully was one of the top answers. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, this drop-in is one of several that we've been doing, including sessions on cyberbullying and protecting personal information. And we're always interested to hear what topics you'd like us to cover in the future. So if you've got any ideas or suggestions, please do pop them in the chat box. Now, the plan for this session is to talk about how we can help to teach children share carefully on the internet. Now, whether you're going into work or not, or if your kids are in school or not, most of us are using tech a little bit more at the moment to share things with people that we can't see in person. So what we're going to be chatting about today is how we help children to decide what information should stay private and what's okay to share with different audiences. Develop sharp sharing habits whenever they go online, so they can make sure that they're only sharing what they want to share. And we'll talk a little bit more about what sharp means in a moment. And finally, managing their digital footprint throughout their lives, including understanding that it might be visible to others when they get older. Now, we want the next 15 minutes to be as useful and as practical as we can possibly make them. And we know that some of the best ideas and tips are going to come from you sharing your thoughts and knowledge parent to parent. So if you've got any ideas or any suggestions, pop them in that chat box. And also, if you've got any questions, pop them in there too. There is no such thing as a bad question. Tim's there waiting, and I'll keep glancing my eye in the chat box as we go along. Now, before we move on, I just want to check that everybody can see me okay. If I do look a little bit blurry, I recommend refreshing the page on your phone, tablet or computer, or you can adjust the settings by clicking the little cog in the bottom right hand of your screen and select quality. And don't worry about missing stuff, because you can always watch this back later. And if you want to, you could share this link with your friends so that they can watch later too. Like I said, Tim and I are part of a team that's been teaching an internet safety programme called Be Internet Legends in schools across the UK for almost 4 years now. Some of you might have heard about it from your children. We teach really fun interactive assemblies like this, and then teachers follow up with lessons in the classroom that are part of a full curriculum. Throughout the pandemic, we've been supporting schools and students and families from afar using the power of tech. Be Internet Legends teaches children 5 really important safety pillars, a mixture of skills and behaviours that cover the most important things for your children to remember when they go online. Now, that includes being sharp, being alert, being secure, being kind, and being brave. If you wanted to find out a bit more about all the 5 pillars, check out Google's parent page, and Tim's popping a link for that in the chat box as I speak. Now, sharing carefully is covered in the Be Internet Sharp pillar of the Be Internet Legends code. So that's what I'll be covering and focusing on in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Be Internet Sharp is all about helping children to think about what they say, post, and do on social media, messaging apps, online games, video chats, and more. So let me kick off by explaining what we teach children as part of Be Internet Sharp so that you can adapt some of our ideas to suit you, your family, and your children. And again, please don't hesitate to share any of your strategies in the chat box. And again, I'll pause a little bit later on to share any of those. Now, when we're teaching children to be internet sharp, the first thing we encourage them to think about is what they share and who they share it with. Now, this might sound really obvious, but in a world where children are used to sharing everything and seeing their favourite celebrities share loads of information online, it's really important that they have these questions in their mind whenever they go online. We want children to know that some stuff should be kept to themselves because it's personal. Now, a good example of this is passwords. It's surprisingly common for children to tell each other their passwords as a sign of friendship and showing that they're really good friends. So we need to teach them that it's important that they keep their passwords private. Of course, you might decide that you need to know their passwords, your child's passwords, and that's obviously a decision that you can make together as a family. What we need children to know is that they should never pass their personal information like a password onto anybody else, even their friends. We also want them to understand that some things might be okay to share with certain people, but not to others. Now, to help them make savvier decisions about sharing, we introduce them to the idea of sharing groups. Now, these are different groups of people that you can share different things with. Now, we break this down into 4 kinds of sharing groups, and these are private, just your family, family and friends, and everybody else. You've probably already talked to your children about who to share things with already. This grouping approach is just another way to help them think about not just what to share, but to who with. So first, we have private. Not a group at all, because this is the stuff that shouldn't be shared with anybody. So things like their password, but also things that could identify them, like their home address or their birth date. Next, we cover family. Things that are okay to share with any family members. Now, this could be a video of dad doing a silly dance. Of course, you have to check that dad is happy for that video to be shared with the family. Or it could be a picture of your child in their school uniform. After that, we get them to think about family and friends group. Now, for this group of people, we explain that they should only share things that are suitable for a bigger group that includes friends and they know offline. This could be something like their birthday or maybe what they're getting up to at the weekend. Finally, there's everyone. And this is where they can share anything that isn't private, and it can be shared anywhere. Now, this could be a cute picture of a cat or a dog, or a new cool song by their favourite band or singer. However, when we're doing the Be Internet Legends assembly, and what you can really reinforce at home too, is that strangers can see this stuff too. And once it's out there, it's out there. We'll talk a little bit more about this a bit later on when we focus on digital footprints. So, how can we make all of this as easy and as fun as possible so that your children always remember to think before they share? And what can you do at home? Now, there's one really super easy thing that you can do to introduce the concept of sharing carefully to your children. And that's watch the Legends Family Adventure. Now, this is an animated series that we've created with Aardman, and that's the people who made Shaun the Sheep. There are 3 really cute, super short films for families to watch together, and they introduce some really important concepts script in a way that's easy for younger children to understand, and they're really fun and engaging. Now, Tim has just popped the link for the Legends Family Adventure in the chat box. We've also created some activities that support what they learned in the films, and one of them is something that you might remember from your childhood, and it's this: the paper fortune teller. Now, hopefully you'll already be an expert on how to make them, but if they're new to you or maybe you can't remember, it comes with plenty of instructions, and there are some great how-to videos on YouTube too. Now, like fortune tellers, this activity is all about helping children to make a decision, but this time it's deciding what to share with who. Once you've made one and played with it a few times, this is the sort of thing that's great to have around the house, maybe near your child's tech. Now, you could even encourage your child to customise it. So if I was customising mine, it would definitely be sparkly and glittery, and then they can carry it around with them. Whatever works for you and your child, it's all about turning savvy sharing into a habit. Of course, this is just one idea from Be Internet Legends that might be helpful, and if you do have your own, pop them in the chat box and I'll share them with everybody else as we go along. Now, here are a couple more reminders that we talk to children about, and we'd really encourage you to cover these at home as well. We talk to children about accidental sharing. We remind them that sharing is much more than just posting or not posting something. Things can be shared accidentally too. For example, every time they use video, it's important for them to check that anything on the video might give away personal information. So this might be wearing a jumper or a t-shirt with your child's school logo on it. It could be leaving something in the background of the video that identifies their address or where they live, or accidentally saying something private, especially in a video chat or a live stream where they can't take that information back. Now, to help your child develop sharp sharing habits like this, perhaps you can practice together by making a little bit of a checklist every time you do a family video chat. Now, you could even turn this into a bit of a family quiz. Now, of course, it obviously doesn't matter if they mention their school name in a conversation with their gran, but it'll be great to get them used to thinking about the different information they're sharing and what they need to be aware of. Another idea is to pop a note on their device with a list of things that they should never ever share. Whatever helps, whatever works to help them remember. Now, because we say in the assembly, once something is out there, it's out there. And that leads us on to digital footprints. Now, this is the word we use in Be Internet Legends to describe everything that a child leaves behind when they spend time online, or what's posted about them by others. Now, this can include photos and videos, text, audio, social media posts, emails, game handles, and much more. Of course, information travels fast, and some of those things might be on the internet for a long time, which is why we want children to think really carefully about what they share and what they keep private. Now, in our Be Internet Legends assembly, we challenge children to find a lost toy cat and remember 2 pieces of information about the cat that one of the presenters casually mentions at the start of the assembly. Now, it's a great opportunity to remind them how quickly information can travel and how long it can stick around for. The children have never met the cat before, but they already know some personal information about the cat, like the cat's name and age. But of course, you don't have to hide all your child's toys to have fun when learning about digital footprints. Now, one really quick and easy fun thing you can do together is Google one of your child's favourite characters and see how many new facts you can find out about them. Now, you might be surprised about how much information you can find. Our Parent Hub has a really fun guessing game that you can download and play together. Now, you write the name of a character or a celebrity or an animal on a piece of paper and stick it to each other's heads. Now, the idea is to see how quickly you can work out who or what is on your head. Now, it's designed to show children that just a little bit of information can give away a lot. Now, Tim's going to pop a link for this game in the chat box for you. Of course, if you do play this game with your child, you'll probably find it takes a few guesses to get the right answer. And you might make some bad guesses based on the information that you get. Now, the same is true on the internet. So this game is a really great opportunity to talk to your child about how people can form inaccurate impressions on them based on their digital footprint. You can also let them know that when they share things about a friend, it becomes part of their friend's digital footprint too, which may be used to form impressions of them. If your child has had a Be Internet Legends assembly, they'll be familiar with the kind pillar. So they'll know that it's really important to be kind and positive online and remind them that this can affect their digital footprint too. Now, there's one more thing that crops up a lot in Be Internet Legends, and that's reminding your child to talk to you if they're ever worried or confused about anything. It's the final pillar of the Be Internet Legends programme, Be Internet Brave. When in doubt, discuss. Now, even if you do have a chatterbox who talks to you all the time, it can be really hard to get children to talk about things that have happened online because sometimes it can mean that they've broken a rule or shared something that they shouldn't, and it can put them off telling you about something. That's why you really need to get them into the habit of talking to you about what they've been doing online and having a chat with them about being brave if something happens, even if they've made a mistake. They need to know that you'll always help them, even if they think what they've done will make you a little bit cross. I'm sure you do that already, but we hope that Be Internet Legends will give you some extra resources and tools to remind them. Because, as you know, with children, you have to tell them, sometimes you have to tell them things over and over again until they remember and you're sure that they've understood. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed chatting to you this evening. Now, Google's Be Internet Legends parent page has loads of help on this subject, and Tim's going to pop a link in the chat box now, alongside a link to the Parent Zone's website where you can find loads more really useful information. But that's not all. If you found this useful or interesting, why not come to another one of our digital drop-ins? We're doing them all throughout the term, covering subjects such as cyberbullying and protecting personal information. Now, Tim's going to pop a link in the chat box where you can see the full timetable, and do share the timetable with your friends in case they want to join us too. Now, before I go, I want to remind you about the Legends Family Adventure. It's the perfect, entertaining but educational activity for you to all enjoy together as a family. Now, there's 3 episodes and each episode is under 3 minutes long, and each episode has some really great activities for you all to do together. As I said earlier, episode 2 focuses specifically on sharing carefully, but we recommend watching all the series in order, and here's a little bit of a sneak peek for you.
My bear's gone. mix uppercase and lowercase letters.
Whoa, neat trick!
Now, once you've watched the films, we'd love you to take part in the Legends Family Challenge. Now, this is an opportunity for you to win some really exciting prizes for your child's school and test their internet safety knowledge so that you can check how much they've understood. Now, check the chat box now for a link. We've also got loads of fun, free activities that you can do at home together as a family on the Parent Zone Parent Hub. Now, there's something for every pillar of the Legends Code, from kindometers to password poetry. If you sign up to our newsletter, we'll make sure you're the first to hear of any new activities or resources, and Tim's going to pop a link for the newsletter sign up now. And finally, have you played Interland? Now, it's a fab online game filled with challenges based on the Legends Code. Children absolutely love it, and they're really good at it too. Now, why not see who can get the high score in your household? Maybe have a bit of a competition? Again, Tim's going to pop a link for the game in the chat box now. So that's everything from me. I'm just going to have a little look in the chat box. Fab. Thank you, Tim. Tim's popped loads of really useful links in there. So do check those out when you have a moment. Now, final link is going to be to a really quick survey. Now, it'll take about 30 seconds to fill in, and it just helps us understand what you thought of the digital drop-in, if there's anything we can do to make it better, and if there's anything else you'd like us to cover in the future. And don't hesitate to get in touch with us. All our details are on the screen now. You can get in touch via Instagram or via email. We absolutely love hearing from parents and teachers and children. So remember, there's no such thing as a bad question if you have one. And perhaps you want to share with us a review of the Legends Family Adventure, or maybe some password poetry you create together. Well, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you've had a really lovely day and enjoy the rest of your evening. See you all soon. Bye. Oh, I'm still here. I'll do that again. Bye.